Friends, this is Dipti and welcome to today's meal prep video. Today's video is all about one full day of prepping meal ingredients. Along with preparing lunch and dinner for the day, I'm prepping produce everyday essentials like ghee and freezer-friendly bulk preparations of pancake and waffles. So let's get started. It's about 7:15 in the morning and I am ready to start my meal prep. Making ghee is the first thing on my meal prep to-do list. Recently, I shared a video on how to prepare ghee. So for details, please refer to that video. I'm also sharing the video link in the card above and in the description box below. Check out the beautiful liquid gold that I have here. While ghee is cooling, I'm debating whether I should make keto milk powder laddus. And once I've made up my mind to make them, I start gathering up the ingredients for it, which are milk powder and keto sweetener. I store opened up milk powder in the refrigerator and just take a quick inventory of my refrigerator. That's when I realized that I have leftover homemade paneer from a week or so ago and heavy cream which is about to expire soon. I immediately decide to make low carb paneer burfi as well. I know this is going to extend my meal prep time by at least 45 to 50 minutes, but the reward will be worth the time spent. So after straining ghee into its container and collecting the milk solids, I have this brilliant idea, or at least I think it's a brilliant idea, to use up the milk solids in making the laddus. Since this pan is solely dedicated to preparing ghee and milk mithai, I'm going ahead and preparing paneer burfi as well. Recipe and preparation details for the sugar-free laddus and burfi can be found in the description box below. It's about 8:30 a.m. and I'm moving to the next items on my prep list, which are pancakes and waffles. I'm adding in the last mushy banana to the batter for pancakes. I'm mushing and whisking the banana with milk to form a somewhat smooth batter and then adding some more milk. This is a liquid base for the pancakes. I'm using Kodiak Cakes brand Power Mix for making the final batter. This is my most favorite brand of pancake waffle mix as it has a bunch of different healthy whole grains like buckwheat, oats, groats along with the whole wheat that are more nutritious than plain old whole wheat. And the best part is that I don't need to add eggs to make them light and fluffy. I follow the recipe that is printed on the back of the box and it works out as a charm every single time. I buy this one from Costco and I buy about 4 of these when they go on sale, which happens only once or twice a year. Each of this box is about 2 kilograms or 4.5 pounds and 4 of these boxes last me about a year or so for a family of 4. Anyways, for every cup of mix, I'm using 3/4 cup of liquid and whisking in everything to form a smooth batter. It's important to not overmix. Small lumps are fine. They will get cooked. Overmixing will result in tough or chewy pancakes. Ladling out 1 to 1.5 spoonfuls of batter on a hot griddle, topping it with few chocolate chips and flipping and cooking the other side. As pancakes come off the griddle, placing them on a cooling rack. Once they cool down, I will transfer them to a plate and flash freeze for 30 minutes before transferring it to a freezer-safe bag or a container. It's 9:15 a.m. and boys are awake and they are enjoying breakfast of pancakes with maple syrup. I still have to prepare waffles before I can even take my first break. For waffles, once more I'm following the recipe that is printed on the back of the box mix. Both pancakes and waffles use the same ratio of mix to liquid, with the only exception that you have to add about 1 tablespoon of oil to the liquid when making the waffles. Since I'm tripling the recipe like I tripled for pancakes, I'm using 3 cups of dry mix to 2 1/4 cups of liquid, which in this case is milk, and then adding 3 tablespoons of oil. Then heating the waffle maker, brushing oil on both the heating plates, ladling the batter over, spreading it gently and lowering the top to cook it. It is important to not overload the plate with batter or it will overflow from the sides. As the waffles come out from the waffle maker, I'm cooling them on the rack and then flash freezing, repeating the same process until all the batter gets used up. Pancakes have already flash frozen and I will pile them up in a freezer safe bag and store in the freezer. Going to flash freeze the waffles as well and then store them in a freezer safe container. It is close to 10:45 a.m. and I am taking a break from meal prep. After drinking my second cup of coffee, I am unloading my dishwasher and putting away washed cups, mugs, pots and pans, containers and cutlery. As I'm doing this, I have boys helping me in picking cilantro leaves and spinach. It's close to 11:15 a.m. and I'm starting lunch preparations. First is kneading dough for chapatis and then prepping a few veggies for the sabzi. I have 4 green peppers to prep, but right now I'm prepping only 1 to use in today's sabzi. I already have chopped onions from earlier prep, so I can start directly with the tadka. It's the usual: heat oil, sputter mustard seeds, add cumin seeds, then saute onions, then saute pressed garlic. While all this sauteing action is happening, on the side I'm peeling and cutting potatoes. Next, go in finely chopped green chilies, potatoes and green peppers, mixing everything and adding turmeric, homemade masala and crushed tomatoes and giving everything a good stir. Then adding thawed out riced cauliflower, mixing it well, covering and cooking for good 4 to 5 minutes on medium-low heat. Every now and then I buy frozen riced cauliflower from Costco. It comes as a 4-pack bag and is very useful in making pav bhaji and keto cauli rice. Well, back to the recipe. Removing the lid, adding salt according to taste, mixing and covering and cooking for another 2 to 3 minutes on medium-low heat. With sabzi cooking on one stove, I'm preparing dal on another one. As usual, after preparing the tadka of mustard seeds, cumin seeds, green chilies and onions, I'm adding thawed out cooked dal and mashing it into the tadka. Then adding water, stirring it up, adding dried up amsool for tang and salt and bringing everything to a good boil. Going back to sabzi, looks like it's almost cooked. Adding some frozen green peas to the sabzi, mixing everything, cooking covered for another minute or two on medium heat and then removing it off the stove. By this time, amti is also ready and I am ready to roll out chapatis. Flattening out each dough ball, smearing it with oil and then folding it into a triangle. Making 8 such dough triangles and rolling them out into chapatis. Rolling out rounds from triangles is indeed an art that took a long time for me to master. Once a couple of chapatis are rolled out, I start roasting them on hot tawa. Once everything is prepared, I am ready to serve. So here's what's going on my boys' plates: roti, sabzi and amti. And on Milan's plate, along with roti, sabzi and amti, is homemade garlic coconut red chili chutney. You've seen me prepare this chutney in an earlier meal prep. I will share the video link to that meal prep in the description box below. For my lunch, I'm eating a big wet salad made up of lettuce, cherry tomatoes, marinated mozzarella cheese ball, pepita seeds or pumpkin seeds, and dressing from the marinated mozzarella cheese. Anyways, it's close to 2:30 p.m. and I am done with my lunch, cleaning kitchen and a big relaxation break. Now I'm ready to finish off prepping the remaining produce for the week. Picked cilantro and spinach leaves are drying on the kitchen towel. Sometimes between morning coffee break and prepping lunch, I rinse them out and put them out for drying. Getting back to peppers that I had started cutting right before lunch. I find it easier to cut peppers from their sides and then remove the seeds and the ribs. Once all 4 peppers are prepped this way, I am ready to cut them into strips. Once I have the strips ready, I am gathering them into a bunch and dicing them into somewhat uniform size pieces. Because of my OCD, in sense that the diced pieces should be as uniformly cut as possible, I end up spending a considerable amount of time on it. Can't help it, guys. Anyways, now that I have all the peppers diced, I'm going to flash freeze them and later store them in a freezer safe container. I have 2 more veggies to prep, tindora or parval and gawar. Both will take the longest time to prep, so I'm going to keep them to the end. However, before I tackle those, I'm going to put away cilantro and spinach leaves. I'm storing cilantro in a paper towel lined clear container. Need another small container because I don't want to overpack everything in one container. Doing the same for cilantro stems as well. Saving cilantro stems means washing and drying them the same way as cilantro leaves and is an additional step, but I like to use them in my gravies, so I go the extra mile to prep them as well. Also, I always line the top of the produce with paper napkins so that any moisture released by the produce can be absorbed by the towel on the bottom and top end of the container. This helps in lengthening the storage period of the produce. Next, putting away washed and dried destemmed green chilies in a paper napkin lined plastic container. Removing the stems from green chilies helps lengthen their storage period. Next on the list is tindora or parval. I want to prep this and keep this ready for making tonight's dinner. To prep tindora, first I'm cutting off the tops and bottoms of each tindora, then cutting it into half and then cutting each half lengthwise. As I'm prepping tindora, I find a lot of them have their insides turning red or almost red or mushy. I have to discard a bunch of these, so I'm left only with 2/3 to half of the total. Course correcting to add potatoes to the sabzi to bulk it up sufficiently for tonight's dinner. I will peel and chop the potatoes just before I'm ready to prepare tadka for the sabzi. Taking another break, It's close to 4:15 and it's gym time and I'm heading out for my fitness class. This is week 7 of Max Challenge program and it's getting tougher and tougher every day. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh my god, today's class was brutal. I mean brutal. A nice hot shower does wonders in relaxing my aching muscles, and once again I'm fired up to finish up what I've started. It's about 6 p.m. and it's time to make dinner. However, there is a change of plan. Now instead of tindora sabzi, we are going to be eating pasta for dinner. Salted water is boiling and while pasta is cooking, I am picking fresh basil and oregano from my herb garden and prepping them for this simple butter sauce. I am cooking pasta only for about 7 or 8 minutes in boiling water as we prefer to eat pasta al dente. That is, there is some bite remaining to the pasta and it is not mushy at all. Straining pasta from its water and letting it hang around till I have the sauce ready. I am preparing a simple butter sauce by melting butter and 4 freshly pressed garlic cloves. Sauteing on low-medium heat until garlic turns fragrant and then adding a teaspoon or so of red chili powder and mixing everything thoroughly and turning off the heat. Then adding the cooked pasta and coating it with butter sauce. Once pasta is coated with sauce, I'm garnishing it with freshly picked and chopped basil and oregano. Looks and smells fantastic. Serving a generous portion in a bowl and garnishing it with Parmesan cheese and viola. It's ready to eat. Simple and delicious. While kids ate pasta, I ate cheesy egg omelette. Then quickly cleaned up the stove and kitchen counters and loaded the dishwasher and got it running. It is about 7:30 p.m. I have 4 more things before I can call it a day. Starting with this huge pile of spinach leaves. I'm splitting them into 2 containers, one for immediate use in this week and one for use at a later time. Once again, lining the containers with paper towel and after placing the spinach, placing another paper towel only for one container and then covering it with lid. The one which does not have paper towel on the top, I will freeze it. Yes, I do freeze spinach directly without blanching or processing, especially when I'm planning to use most of it for green smoothies. Next is the most tedious task, picking on guar beans. This is one of the most dreadful chore in my opinion. But all of us love guar, so it is definitely worth the efforts. As usual, picking off the tops and bottoms of the beans and then firmly snap breaking each bean into small uniform pieces, all the while removing the strings from the side as I'm snapping and breaking them. As I'm prepping guar, I'm coming across a bunch of tough beans that I'm separating from the tender ones and storing them in a separate container. These I will pressure cook along with tur dal and use them up in amti. Finally, I'm wrapping this produce and meal prep. Here is a look at what I have prepped today along with today's lunch and dinner. I have tender guar to be used sometimes this week. Then the tough one which I will freeze and cook it along with tur dal the next time I'm ready to prepare dal. I have some dough remaining from morning prep. Then there is ghee which I prepared the first thing in the morning and it has firmed up beautifully. Then there is tindora which I will use for tomorrow's lunch. Then there are waffles and chocolate chip pancakes ready for the next 2 weeks breakfasts. I have a few laddus remaining as all of us loved it and we snacked on them quite a lot during the day. Plus I shared a few with my friends as well. Then there are prepped green peppers, green chilies, cilantro stems and 2 containers of spinach leaves. That's it guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this prep video. If you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. Thank you so much. Till the next one. Adios. Bye.